Hey everybody, got a new project we're starting. I decided that I wanted to make you might know it as a peace pipe, but it's actually not a peace pipe. It's called a ceremonial pipe. And the specific one I decided to build is going to be what's called a tea pipe. And more specifically, it's going to be a large one, as you can see there. I don't know if mine will be quite that big. The larger ones are called a chief's pipe. And you can get on this website. I'll link it in the description. And you can go to this website, and there's a whole bunch of other articles aside from this. This is just one page of many pages. It gives a history of the sacred pipe. And it's of the Lakota Tradition, which I decided. And the reason I'm doing this has to do with my dad. He was heavily involved with the Native Americans throughout the entire country, from Michigan to Denver to California. He passed away last year, December 15th of 2020. He was 83 years old, and he absolutely loved Chief Joseph. I don't remember any time in my childhood where there was not a picture of Chief Joseph hanging on the wall. This I'm making in honor of him. We're going to have a belated ceremony. The pandemic has kind of altered everything, in regards to doing something like that. So we've kind of rethought it. We're going to do something and then just share it with the family only, and that's it. This specific deal, the way we want to do this, is going to use this pipe in the ceremony, just, to say prayers and give honor to my dad. So I was able to take him probably about 9 months before he passed away, just prior to the pandemic hitting the airwaves. I just felt this really urgent need to take him to the Nez Perce reservation to visit Chief Joseph's grave. I just stopped everything. I got him all packed up. I didn't tell him anything. He was suffering from dementia. Telling him where we were going, he would have forgotten 10 minutes later. I knew it was important to him. I knew he would have loved it. And I felt this urgency that, if I don't do this now, I'm not going to be able to. So I did. I got him packed up in the car. We got some lunch, got some stuff to drink, and we headed off to the Nez Perce cemetery. And it was in February. It was cold. We got to see the Cooley Dam, and from there we went to the cemetery. And he was quite surprised and very happy. And he left one of his feathers as a gift to Chief Joseph. And I was glad that I could do that for him, because Chief Joseph meant everything to my dad. Like I said, this is a new project. I'm going to go over some of the things. These are some of the designs. My pipe is probably going to look more like this one right here. And but just, large, as big as I can get out of that stone. And like I said, I'll link this up. Just going to go over some of the things that we need to make it. So these are some of the tools that I'm going to be using. Obviously, we need a square. We need to have a square starting point, and I've already got one figured out on that stone. We need a hacksaw, and then we've got a variety of files here. These are basic machinist files right here, which I will probably be using towards the end. I don't know. I'm assuming I'm going to use them, so I just got everything out that I think I'm going to need. These are half rounds, and you can see it's flat on one side and it's round on another, and they're kind of raspy for removing material fast. And this is a fairly soft stone. It's softer than soapstone, so it's not really going to be that difficult to remove material. This one's a smaller file. Then I've got some round files and a small square file. I've also got the drill bits for the pipe holes and the drill stem. Now this is gonna, I think, be the main. This might be too small, so I might have to get a slightly bigger one. This might be too large. I might have to get a slightly smaller one. So I'm gonna do that, and then I don't know if I'm going to actually use this one yet or not. I'm gonna have to wait and see. And I don't know if I'm gonna need that or not. You definitely need a pencil to write on. And as far as that goes, I think that's the basics of what I'm gonna need aside from sandpaper. They also recommend that you work the stone in water. So I've got it sitting in water here. I've also got some lines laid out, and we'll go over that as well. And another thing that I was thinking about in terms of working with something wet, I've worked with soapstone in the past. That stuff gets all over everything. I think it'll be helpful, to keep the dust that this is going to produce down or completely eliminated by keeping everything nice and wet. What's important about this is that you understand that it's sacred, and if you're a dishonest person, if you're into scumbaggery, you need to stay away from this because you're desecrating what this means. The sacred pipe was meant as the bridge between the words of your prayers and the smoke lifting your prayers into the heavens, into the spirit world. It's taken very, very seriously by the tribes who partake in this, and each tribe has their own tradition. Each tribe has their own style of pipe. This one's, like I said, is Lakota. It's probably the most familiar that we know about. Also, there's a number of things that they smoke out of these. Now, in the Lakota tradition, they have a few different things. Most notably is the red willow bark, and I have some of that, and I will show you. And they sometimes will mix that with other things, I believe, like with sage, and there's some other stuff. I don't think generally actual tobacco has been mixed in, but I still, like I said, I'm not completely versed on this, and I got more investigating to do to find out. Other tribes, they do have mixes with tobacco, and I have seen a variety of different combinations of tobacco and sage and whatever else. One of the things they want is you to make it by hand as much as possible. I know there are some Lakota that do use power tools. I'm obviously going to have to use a drill at some point. And I was thinking about this, thinking about getting a hand drill, and I decided against it for one reason, and that's because I'm worried that I just won't be able to hold it straight enough when you're cranking that wheel around. You're creating a lot of movement, and you're creating an odd hole. I want the hole to be nice and straight and perfect. So I'm probably going to hand drill that. And then as a final polish, I'm more than likely going to put it on a buffing wheel, and once it's all finished, I'll give it a nice polish.